Hey, happy spring, everybody. It's Dr. Mike here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about my story. I had 2 or 3 patients just this week ask me how I got into chiropractic. So, it's not the most compelling story, but it's my story, so I find it interesting, and hopefully you will too. So, when I was a kid, growing up, I was not sick a lot, but I was sick enough. Every year, I seemed to get something, whether it was a sore throat or some kind of allergy. I had sensitivity to certain foods and things like that. And so in my family, I was probably the one who got sick the most and the most frequent. So my mom would take me to the doctor, and most of you know when you go to the doctor, they check you and they prescribe something, right? And usually the prescription was for some pill or antibiotic or something like that. And over the years, I kind of grew tired of that model, just innately not feeling like that's the way I wanted to go. So when I became a teenager and I started to play sports, if I ever had an injury, a sports injury or something like that, I always hated the idea of having to go. And at that time, when I was a kid, it was, decades ago, obviously. And, doctors were, I guess the specialists weren't as abundant as they are today. And I have a lot of good friends that are doctors, so there's nothing to disparage the specialists that exist today. But we used to go to the family doctor, and the family doctor would prescribe something, send me home, tell me to ice it, tell me to rest it. And so I developed seasonal allergies that got pretty significant, pretty bad. And I was taking seasonal allergy shots for them just to try to get through the season without, sneezing and coughing and just feeling miserable that whole season. So I wound up doing that. And then as I started getting a little older, I had a few injuries, didn't think anything of them, because when you're 16, 17 years old, your range of adaptability is through the roof. So one day you hurt, the next day you feel fine, so you don't really bring it up. When I was a kid, if you got hurt, you didn't want to go tell your parents because you'd get in trouble for doing something you probably shouldn't have anyway. So I wound up going skiing. I was 19, and I was in between going back to school. I had already studied 2 years of mechanical engineering down at Manhattan College, and I was taking a break from school. I went skiing. I got home that evening, and I only skied a half a day. I didn't fall, but I skied hard. I got home that night, and I was literally bent over. I got out of the car, and I couldn't straighten up past this. And my dad was up the window, and he looked out, and he asked me how I was skiing, and as he saw me bent over, he was wondering if I dropped something, if I was looking for the keys or something like that. And I said, no, I can't stand up. So he came down, helped me in the house, and I stayed in bed for 2 days. I was literally in bed for 2 days with the exception of going to the bathroom. My mom was feeding me in the bed. I literally couldn't move, couldn't get out of bed. I was in agony. But I didn't want to go to the doctor because I knew I was going to get some prescription and told to rest. And so I just didn't want to go. And my dad finally talked me into going to see his chiropractor. I didn't know what a chiropractor was, but I was pretty desperate at the time. As a matter of fact, the way I felt is if my parents were out of the house, my mom went out, my dad was at work, if the house caught on fire, I literally would have died because I couldn't get out of my bed fast enough to save my life. That's how bad my back was. So I go see this chiropractor, we get some x-rays. He tells me he found my problem, it's in my low back. He lays me on the bench, and I had 2 adjustments, and it changed my life. The next week I went skiing again. I started to get adjusted more regularly when I enrolled in chiropractic school and started to investigate more and more about what chiropractic did. I was still taking the allergy shots every month in my arm. And I started thinking, well, if chiropractic is what they say it is, and if my whole body and my system, my immune system, my nerve system are going to get better as a result of getting this treatment, then I got to try it full force. And so I got rid of the allergy medicine, and I started getting adjusted regularly 3 times a week. And lo and behold, my immune system changed. I rarely get sick. My physical body, my musculoskeletal system felt better than it had in years. And, that's kind of how my story, that's what changed for me. So it was from a back pain injury. I never liked taking drugs as a kid. I always liked doing things the natural way. And I felt like, hey, if I could help people achieve what I achieved, then that's my life's dream. And the rest is history. So here I am 33 years later, still loving what I do. So I hope that helps. I hope sharing my story helped you and motivated you to maybe either seek chiropractic care where you live, You know, because a lot of times chiropractors like to meet you where you're at and find out what your goals are before we establish treatment. And if it's not chiropractic as something you're interested in seeking, that you seek something that's more natural and more holistic in the mindset of having a longer life and a healthier life. For any of you young people who want to go to chiropractic school, please reach out to me. I've got a lot of contacts at my alma mater and other colleges that be happy to talk to you about enrollment. So like I said, hope that helps. And remember, stay informed and get adjusted.